Welcome to East Meets West, and today we have no stranger, my good friend, and I would say also a mentor, and Dr. Michael Koku. He was on our program before, and he is a John Maxwell coach. He's doing some amazing and so much impact he's making on different things that he's doing out there. And so, welcome, Dr. Michael. And I know today we're talking a little bit about your book on the 4 keys for effective leadership. And I like that you put it over in ESPN. And I always remember you're the man for acronym. And Dr. Michael can teach you anything in the form of an acronym. So I think he's very talented with that. But Dr. Michael, welcome to our program. And I want you to share, a little bit, yes, about yourself, maybe even from the last time you were on East Meets West. What are some of the new things that are happening now and what you're involved in and all of that?
Wow. Thank you, Dr. Shanti. I want to say this, Dr. Shanti, she's a special friend, someone that I really respect. And we were just having some conversation before we start now. My name is Dr. Michael, and I'm a physician and also a Maxwell Independent Executive Director, speaker, coach, and trainer, and also the Chief Visionary Officer of the LAMP Global Community. The LAMP Global Community is committed to attracting, developing, and multiplying leaders. It's a community and that is unique in even from conception, and I'm privileged and to have at the nucleus of this community 16 strong leaders called the TLC personalities, and TLC is the LAMP Consortium. LAMP actually means Leadership Advancement Mentorship Platform. So the LAMP Global Community is the LAMP Global Community is the Leadership Advancement Mentorship Platform Global Community, because it was created out of the desire to really help people to continue to grow. I do training, I do masterminds regularly, and I have a kind of a reflection moment that I don't want people to go back to status quo. I want to keep them in age. If you know me, I like across. What is age? Age means a growth environment. So, and I believe when they are in that growth environment, and this is what really started the whole thing. I like to read, I like to look for new content. And I saw an article that says that a shark, when placed in a fish tank, a shark, when placed in a fish tank, only grows to 8 inches. But when you put the same shark in a conducive environment, the ocean, it grows more than 8 feet. The question is, why the gap? It's based on the law of environment, which says growth thrives in a conducive environment. And I consider every leadership potential as a seed. We all need the right environment for our development. So the LAMP Global Community is meant to create that environment, and we do a lot of things. And the LAMP Global Community, we have 4 different arms. And one of the arms are, because the LAMP Global Community is the parent organization of, number 1, WHEEL. WHEEL is Women in Leadership League. And the Women in Leadership League, and every year, and starting from this year, we host a global women conference just specifically for women in leadership. This is not just a women conference. This is a conference, that is created to inspire and equip women all around the world, to step up in leadership. It's to up their leadership, skills in 8 different streams of influence. There are 8 streams of influence, and I give it an acronym GSB: frame, in government, in sport, in business, in family, in religion, in art and entertainment, in media and education. So that's just the wheel. And we are the first one. September, we had more than 497, about 497 women all around the world registered for that conference. It was a real blast, the first of its kind. When the next one is coming up, March 2nd, 2024, it's like twice a year. So we have it March and September. So we just started it this year. Then the second arm of the LAM Global Community is PL. PL is Parents Empowered Academy and for right leadership. And so, and that vision is to really empower and equip parents all around the world with world-class resource to help them to carry out their, parental obligations. So we are the first of its kind, an annual conference just few weeks ago, December 16. We are like 334 people registered for that conference. It was a real blast. It was Parent Empowered Annual Global Conference. Yeah, the third arm of the LAM Global Community is YES. That's the third arm. YES is Youth Empowerment Society, and we'll be having the first of its kind annual Global Youth Conference, June 29 and 2024 next year. And the last one is TBN, the Berean Network. So that's a unique part, So that's why, and we do a lot. We do magazines for women and in leadership, magazines for parents. We have a lot of resource and all that. So we just have it. Our new website is lgcleadership.com. Yeah, thank you.
I am thinking, is there anything you're not involved in?
Well, when personally, my own passion is I help leaders lead effectively so that they can improve their lives personally and professionally. I'm really key. I'm really big about effective leadership. All those things I mentioned, and they are really effective leadership in the for women in leadership, for parents in leadership, and of course for youth in leadership. And the TBN is a different brand. If I started to analyze that, I'll be meeting with my TBN directors today. I'm really big about that's a unique thing that is going to really, that's not a conference, it's a social media movement to really help people to see things in a different light. So that's it. All these things, like me, I like to create. That's why I don't use CEO. And and I no disrespect to every CEO. Listen to me. Listen, the only time I use my CEO title is as a Chief Encouragement Officer. But instead of using Chief Executive Officer, I prefer to use Chief Visionary Officer, because to me, vision is the key to leading a leadership brand. So, and vision is the key. Yeah.
So I think it's so much that you're involved in, and that's why I said that there's a lot that you're working on, and even from the last time you were in the program, and there's so much that you're doing. So I'm amazed, and keep on keeping on. And there's so many, there's so many people out there that wants to develop their leadership skills, and
yeah.
Some people actually don't even know what do you mean by leadership. And the conversation I've been having throughout 2023 with people, what is leadership, and to help them to understand how they can grow themselves, starting to lead themselves, to get an understanding. Before you can lead anybody, you need to know how you can lead yourself.
Yeah.
And I know that you have written few books actually within a very short time, and so I must congratulate you on that too. That is something.
Thank you.
On my bucket list to start. And my high scenes would keep me. I want it to be perfect, and it's just getting started. But I'm amazed, and I really congratulate you on those books.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Well, the talking about leadership is and personally, I like to make something simple. And John Maswell said, communicators take what is complicated and they make it simple, and educators take what is simple and they make it complicated. I love simplicity. I'm known for, encapsulating, ideas and now presenting it in a compelling fashion that is simple and sticky and easy to remember. That's why I do acronyms. And, and I've been rightly accused, and I'm guilty as charged as the chief acronym specialist. I don't apologize for my makeup, because your makeup is not something that you make up. It's something that you wake up to. You don't try to make up what is in your makeup. All you have to do is to wake up to what is in your makeup, because there's a world of difference between synthetic and authentic.
Yeah.
Authenticity is one of the hallmark of leadership. So leadership, I believe, is for everyone. You may be listening to me and you may be thinking, I'm not a leader. Listen, you've told yourself a lie. Leadership is for everyone. Why? Because everyone has the potential to lead. Now, someone said the word lead, and one of my friends, Sheba Wilson, I'll give her the credit. She defines lead as live every day above defeat. And I took it to another level, because I like to take things to another level. So the word lead, as Sheba Wilson rightly says, live every day above defeat. So as a leader, I look at it this way: live every day above defeat. ER, example required. Example required. So that means live every day above defeat, example required. That means I'm reminding myself my example is required. Like I said, I told you when we're starting right now that I don't like to have same old Christmas. This year, I choose to have a different kind of Christmas, and I have a session called Now. Now, NOW means Night of Wisdom. So my wife and I, we spent time with one of our mentors, and we were asking questions and learning from their experience. Now, the reason why I said that is this: we have to be aware of that leadership is not an expertise, is an ongoing education that requires utmost dedication. So we have to grow as leaders every day. So like I talk about, when you see leadership as a way in which you have to lead you first. If you can't lead yourself, you can lead others. And that's why one of the things I shared the last time I came here was 4 different life zones. And this has really helped me, talking about the coasting zone, where you do less than all what you always do, the comfort zone, where you do the same thing that you've always do, and challenge zone, where you attempt to do more than what you've ever done, and the creative zone is not all about doing, it's all about thoughts, where you think more than what you ever thought. And that's what I decided to do this year, because for 20 years, I didn't write a book. My first book was released 23 years ago. Then after 3 years, I was in medical school. I released another book right then. And I was lazy. For 20 years, I was living in comfort zone. Or I would even say coasting zone. And I get to a point is I begin to tell myself the truth that this is not okay. So you have to be real with yourself. You have to do self-talk. Yep. I shared something on self-talk the other time, on the media. 2 great leaders who have said, please, can I use this? I said, of course you can. There's no copyright, just copy it right, And one of the things about that, we have to talk to ourselves. Yeah. You have to get real with yourself. And because of that, I made up my mind that this year I'm going to write 10 books. So, yeah, that's my commitment. And guess what? This year remains 3 days. I've only written 5. But I said 10. So I'm not done yet. As I speak with you now, once we're done, I'm going back to the book number 6. I'm on chapter 3. You got me? I want to finish it. So, but the thing about that is the first thing to do is the first one. But once you do the first one, you can have a leverage to move on and move on. Yeah. So leadership is for you. As you listen to me, it's for you. All you have to do is to know that the seed is inside of you. So what you need to do is to recognize the right environment. Now, environment is not just a climate, it involves people, the kind of people you surround yourself with. You and an average of the 5 people that is closest to you. That's what we call the law of proximity. So you have to be picky. You have to select the right kind of people that will help you, that will challenge you to grow. And if you're at the head of the class, you're in the wrong class. Even though I created the LAM Global Community, I'm still part of the Maxwell leadership because there's so many people that are ahead of me right there. So I want to keep on learning and growing. So leadership is for you, is for everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that part of it, the environment is something that maybe we overlook. And unknowing to ourselves is that the people we are hanging around with is actually either building us or I don't want to say they're keeping us down, but it is you who put yourself in that place. But if you can, start looking this year here, 2024, that who do you want to be around more? And I always tell people, look for opportunities, buy the person lunch or dinner or something, as John Maxwell taught us what he did, and write all the questions that you learn from that individual, and you go and you learn, but you have to put yourself intentionally among people that will make you to learn. One of my goal is at minimum 1 conference, minimum 1 educational experience every year out from my country, that I must be able to interact with leaders from other countries and learn from them, whether it's the culture, any aspect that can help build me, to keep me relevant, to keep me growing in my area too, so that I can keep adding value to others. But it's intentional in planning to make those things happen, to be around people that keep, pulling you up to the next level. Even have a coach that is ahead of me that helps, my thinking capacity and things that I can box off of him and back and forth and all of that. And so, it's not just saying these things and because we want to say it. It's about the things we are also doing to keep growing ourselves, because it's just not telling people to do something and you're not doing. Like what you said is about leading by example. Right. And when you're speaking and people don't see you doing that, then, why should you bother to listen? So it starts with us, as how do we lead ourselves? And, this year here, I think the years are just flying so quickly. But be intentional about what kind of leader you want to be, as in personally and developing. So, Michael, let's talk about these 4 keys to effective leadership that you call your acronym of ESPN. I think many people know about ESPN and the sports network, but this is about effective communication, and it's about strong values. It's about powerful why and the photo networking. So ESPN. So tell us a little bit more.
Well, this is the book. This is one of the book I've written, and 4 keys for effective leadership. And let me just give you a context about the book. And that's why I tell people that you don't lose when you serve. I tell people, when you serve people well, and I want you all to listen to me. This is new content. This is something I've shared that's changed people's life. When you serve people well, you get 5. 5 means 5. You get 5 things. You get 5 things. 5 costa. You get 5 things. And these are the 5 things that you get. Number 1, you get feedback. A lot of people think, you get feedback, because feedback is only possible when you feed first. That's why they call it feedback. You're not entitled to a feedback until you feed people first. So when you serve people well through speaking, coaching, training, or whatever you do, you get feedback. The second thing that you get when you serve people well is you get results. You get results for them, because service is meant to bring about a change. If I'm serving you right now, as you listen, I'm serving, I'm sharing things that you can readily apply to change your life. Another thing you get is you get fulfillment. Because there's something that comes with assignment is fulfillment. You can buy that. It's something that comes like you adding value to people. You fulfilled. Another thing that you get is when you serve people well. You know, I've mentioned feedback, I've mentioned result, I've mentioned fulfillment. When you really serve people well, you really serving them, you in their corner to add value to them, and they know you're not phoning, that you want to serve them, you want to really add value to them. You know, the thing about that is that people always think about money. No, I don't put money first. I put money last. Do you get me? So I want to put results. I want to put fulfillment. I want to get, and I want to put the feedback. Do you get me? And also, and the main thing have to be the main thing. So your goal is, you know, and do you want to really and make a difference in their life? Do you get me? Yeah. So money comes. Money was actually the last thing that you get. You know, there's one more too, and maybe if I remember, I'll give you back. But money comes last when you serve people. So this book was a product of service, and I was working on serving the Rotary Club, and so I've spoken into Rotary Club in Pennsylvania. So the first one is in Upper Darby, city not too far from where I live. And I said, no, what can I share that they can easily apply? You know, this was like this like 2 years ago, and that's how I came up with. Yes, no, this is last year, not yeah, this is last year, and last year it was Thanksgiving time, you know, November, and that's how I came up with ESPN. Now the second time, the Rotary Philadelphia is a bigger one, you know. I spoke there, and they so much like it, and the time was short, you know, but within that time I was able to add so much value. And I said, wow, there's something about this message. People need this. So I began to really build the content, and it came into a book, you know. And so let me talk about these 4 keys for effective leadership. 4 keys. So the acronym that I use is ESPN. So the E is effective communication. Effective communication. Then the S is strong values. And then the P is a powerful why, and the N is networking. Because of the time that we have, you know, if you want to get the full thing, you have to get the book because there's not much time to go deeper. Now, if I want to tell you about effective communication, it's a lot, because communication is just more than saying something. You know, the goal of communication is you want to make a connection. You got me? You see, communication is merely sharing information. Connection is sharing your humanity. That's why John Maswell wrote the book, Everyone Communicate, Few Connect. It's possible for you to communicate and not to connect. Connection is identifying and relating with people in a way that will increase your influence with them. So, and there's so many things about, when we talk about connection, there are 5 connecting practices, and there are principles, and there are 5 connecting practices, which time will not permit us to go into. I want to refer you to Everyone Communicate, Few Connect by John Maswell for that. He's a king of the hill in that area. But the thing I want you to get to take home from this effective communication is, I give it an acronym, and this is delay curiosity. I'm giving you the 7 ingredients of effective communication, and they are delay curiosity, THELEG curiosity. So the T is trustworthiness, the H, humility, and the E is encouragement. L is listening. Don't forget we have 2 E. The second E is energy. And sorry, no, the second is effort. That's it, effort. Then G is generosity, and then curiosity is curiosity. So If you look at those 7 things, those are the ingredients of effective communication. Trustworthiness. Trust is the foundation of leadership. You got me? It's very important, because if you want to communicate, now let me give you the way it works. Trust. If there's no trust, your communication does not carry weight. Trust is like a bridge. So let's say I want to get to Dr. Shanti. Dr. Shanti is at point B, I'm at point A. To go from A to B, there's a wide gap. Let's say there's an ocean between us, and we need to build a bridge. That bridge must be strong enough to bear the weight of the vehicle that's going to go over it. That's how trust is. So if your trust level is low, let me call it this way, your trust equity is low, you don't have the weight for every communication. So as leaders, we have to be trustworthy. And that's on integrity. You got me? You know, because when health is lost, something is lost. When money is lost, nothing is lost. But when trust is lost, everything is lost. So that's the trustworthiness, because if you are not trustworthy, you don't have the credibility for effective communication. As leaders, we have to earn trust of the people, and we have to sustain that trust. We must not abuse that trust. So, and then humility, of course. I mean, a leader has to be humble. You know, now, when I talk about humility, I just like to say it this way. You see, humility is not thinking less of yourself. Humility is thinking of yourself less. Thinking less of yourself is not humility, it's stupidity. Yeah, they are not the same. You understand what I'm saying? Humility is not stupidity. Humility is not timidity. Timidity is to be in fear. So humility is when you think of yourself less so that you can think of others more. For instance, now, I'm not thinking about myself that I want to use this podcast, Dr. Shanti, to sell my books. And I told her before, I said, I'm not here to sell books. I'm here to serve your community. That's humility. You got me? I'm not here for book promotion. And my book, I have a way of selling my books. So I'm shipping all the three of my, I have 3 right here. This is 5 keys to effective communication, networking. And then this is one called the beautiful people. I'm so passionate about this, an acronym on beautiful, the kind of people you need to surround yourself with. You know, people normally buy the 3 all together. So I'm shipping it to someone that's already paid for it. In Atlanta is going to go right now. That's and the book has been selling now because I want to serve people. Now, that's humility. So if you want to be effective, you have to think of yourself less. It's all about the people. That's how. Then we have encouragement, we have effort, listening. There's so much more that I can read. So let me go to the second key. And in this ESPN, so we talk about effective communication. And the second one is strong values. Strong values. Now, Muhammad Ali said something. He said, true success is reaching our potential without compromising our values. Muhammad Ali, the great heavyweight box champion, he said, true success is reaching our potential without compromising our values. So that means values is like password. So the question is, what are your non-negotiables? What are the things that you're not ready to compromise? Now, values and principles. Now, let me give you a context to that. Thomas Jefferson said, with respect to style, swim with the current. Swim with the current. But with respect to values, be firm as a rock. That means when it comes to style, the way you do things and all that, you can swim with the current, of what is going on right now. You can swim with the current, you can flow with the current. But when it comes to values, principle, you have to be firm. That means that one doesn't change. You don't change your values for what you represent. I'm reading a biography now by Home Depot founders, and they were talking how they have the kind of strong values that the company was built on. They were in a company where they were kicked out, where they were fired. They have a bad leadership principle, and they made up in their mind that they're going to build a new company where they're going to have a strong values, where they're going to value people, value their, and they don't even call their workers, they call them associates. They give them sense of ownership. So strong values. The same thing if you read the story of the four-way test and from the Rotary Club. Those four-way tests was built on strong values by a man called Herbert J. Taylor. He was a lawyer. And this man took over a company in Chicago that was going down. But because he came up with a strong value that is being used by the Rotary Club all around the world today, he was able to turn the company around. Because values does not live on paper, they live in people. That's the power of strong values. So whatever your leadership is, if your value has to do with you put people over profits, your company is going to last. You got me? You don't put profit first, you put people first. That's the kind of thing I'm saying, so that anyone can apply it. So your strong values are what you are not ready to negotiate. So your values have to be strong. It's like a password. So if you have a weak password, anybody can hack into it. You got me? Someone said, if your values is not strong enough, then it's an hobby. It's something you can easily change. Under pressure, you tell them, no, I'm going to maintain this value system. You refuse to compromise. Yeah, times doesn't change values. Time can change style, the way we do things. We use TikTok, Twitter, X Factor, and all that. Yes, but it doesn't change values. Values remains the same. Values remain the same. Yeah. Now, the next one is we talk about powerful why. Powerful why. This is a real, very important thing. It's a very important. Now, the powerful why, it says that you need to have a why. Why are you doing? Why do you do what you're doing? Because why is what keep you in your business. You must ask yourself, why am I doing this? Is it the what is good, but the why is better? For instance, Dr. Shanti, she had value to leaders with East with me through our podcast. I have a podcast too. My why is I want the why for what I do in my podcast is I want emerging leaders that are just coming up to hear the leadership journey of how people started, so that by hearing that story, they will be healed of their assumption. Because John Maxwell said the greatest mix-up in leadership is assumption. People assume a lot. So I bring speakers and to let them share how they started, how they became aware of their leadership, so that they can see some details that they don't normally hear about, and that's my why. Now, in that book, I talk about Mike Tyson and then James Buster Douglas, and a big fight that he had in Tokyo. And until then, Mike Tyson was undefeated. Nobody gave James Buster Douglas a chance. Even before the fight, Mike Tyson, he partied all night. Bobby Brown, he was in that party, and Mike Tyson said he doesn't have to train to beat up James Mike, and he underestimated him. So he came in as an underdog, but James Buster Douglas have a powerful why. He promised his mom that he's going to beat Mike Tyson. Even though the mom died before the fight, few days before the fight, but that kept him going. At a point, I think in one of the rounds, he was hit by Mike Tyson. He fell down. Before the count of 10, he stood up. Nobody ever stood up. When you get knocked by Mike Tyson, you remain down. But he stood up and he stayed in the fight until he ended up knocking out Mike Tyson. You got me? Why was it different from other people? It's because he has a powerful why. And that's the powerful why. It's what gives you resilience. So for you to be effective, you must have a powerful why. You don't just lead because someone else is doing something. No, you must have a why. You must have a purpose why you're doing what you're doing. Yeah, that's what keeps you in the game. And the last one is networking. Like I said, even for that networking, in fact, I wrote a book on that. And that networking is, I wrote a book on effective networking. And that one has an acronym. And the acronym for that is LIGHT. And I got it right here. Love, intentionality, getting up and go, humility, and time. And one of the things I want to share in that networking that you can easily apply to your life is what I call the 4X. You know, networking is not just going to a meeting and sharing your business card. That's not networking. For you to be effective, you have to start with love. You have to be intentional. You have to get up and go. That means don't just get somewhere and just stand alone. You have to get up, move around, and then you need humility too. And networking takes time. Now, one thing I've learned that have helped me about networking is not fishing. Effective networking is not hunting. It is farming. What do I mean? When you are fishing, you can go to the pond, get to the river, get to the lake. Within a few minutes, you can catch the fish. Networking is not like that. When you are hunting, if you're a good hunter, you can go and get a deer within 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But farming takes time. That's why I want everybody to get this 4X. I learned this from John Maxwell, the 4X of relationship. Every relationship, 4X. The first one is surface relationship. This is what happened when you meet people for the first time. Your relationship is surface. Surface is just talking about when you meet people first time, there's nothing much to it because there's so many people you've met in your life that you've just met them first time. Then the second level is what we call structured relationship. Now, this relationship that has routine. Let's say after meeting someone for the first time, then maybe both of you have a son, you have a child in a school, and both of you taking your child for basketball practice, soccer practice, and you meet there every Monday, 7 o'clock. So that's a routine. So that relationship is now become structured relationship. It's not really different from surface relationship. The only thing that makes it different is that you now seeing yourself regularly based on the routine. Let's say you went to the store to buy something, you met the person at the checkout, and you going, every time you go, the person works there, or your co-worker. You might be unstructured because you see each other every day because you come to work. There's a routine to your work. But the third one is what we call secure relationship. Now, in this secure relationship, there's something that happened that makes it secure. This relationship has been viewed by both of you to be healthy and to have a mutual enjoyment. That means both of you enjoyed it. So based on that, you can now move from structured to secure relationship. In this kind of relationship, that's when you begin to build trust. That's when you begin to share things with each other. But there's the highest one is what we call solid relationship. And this relationship that has gone through test and trial and has become solid. This is the kind of lifetime relationship. And we don't have the same relationship with everybody. So that's why it's farming. It takes time. So you have to build relationship because people like to do business with the people that they know, like, and trust. Wow. So in a nutshell, that's the 4 keys for effective leadership. Yeah.
I think so many things come into my mind as you were speaking. the communication aspect. I always tell people that, if true communication is a response you get, and when you communicate and people don't respond the way you would have expected, therefore, how do you take responsibility for how you communicated? And
Mm.
it might not be them, right? And then they say, well, I've explained this thing here, and is the person don't have the common sense, or the person don't have the intellectual to understand, so it's them. But then
Mm.
you really want to communicate, effectively with someone, then you will need to know how do you, tailor whatever your message is to that
Yeah.
person in their level, at their level, or in their language. What can they understand? So that's where responsibility steps in, and
Mm.
the values. We make decisions every day based on
Yeah.
our values,
Yeah.
and so your value system might be different from others. And so,
Mm.
when we want to be effective indeed as leaders, is that what are those values that you will say,
Mm.
this is who I am, and despite what, I'm not giving that up. And
Mm.
I love the why, because up to last night I was having a conversation with someone, and they're my age, and like, I don't know what like specifically I want to do with my life, and finding purpose and in what
Mm.
you're doing. And I always believe that it's supposed to be something bigger than you,
Yeah.
and unless it's bigger than you,
Yeah.
it's not going to drive or pull you to
Yeah.
do something great. And so
Yeah.
it has to be something that is serving a bigger purpose, serving
Yeah.
people per se. And it's not just about you, where you're gonna get
Mm.
out of something, make you're doing it. So why you're in your job? Why you're with this person? Why are this relationship? Why
Yeah.
why you're doing this particular thing? Whatever it is, why you're volunteering at this, or why? Keep asking, to make sure that you know. Because if it's, as you said, if it's not so strong or powerful, after a while, when things get really hard, you would give up.
Yeah.
And everything you work for, or whatever resource you put in, all is going to be gone, because
Mm.
in the initial stage you didn't have a powerful why.
Mm.
And
That's
yeah,
true.
this networking aspect of I was actually speaking at a little gathering with some individuals, some young business owners, and I was telling, for women especially, when you're going to speak to people, there's this aspect of you getting out of your own way, especially
Mm.
because sometimes as women, you think that, okay, if you go speak to this person, especially if it's a male, others have this impression it's something else happening there. And so many female don't feel comfortable going to speak to a male per se
Yeah.
in some society. Might not be in the US. But
Mm.
yeah, and so you have this kind of mindset that you need to work on to, and what you're telling yourself when you
Mm.
go to network, and why you're doing this, and
Mm.
not to be transactional, but how to
Yeah.
be relational, and
Yeah.
you connect with people, because in the end, it's about getting to know people. And we learned that people will not don't care what you know until they know how much you care. So if you're not
Yeah.
build a proper relationship where people can trust you, and
Yeah.
you being authentic, and it's just
Yeah.
not trying to get people money or get into their pockets, because that's why you're interacting with them or
Mm.
connecting with them, because you want something out of them, then that's transactional.
Mm.
And so people can actually see you through that and know. So,
Mm.
but that's what happens in our society sometimes. But we,
Mm.
there's so much I know that you can share, Dr. Michael, and so much you can keep learning. But I do encourage, I know your book is on Amazon, so I
Yeah.
will encourage, those who have an Amazon account. go on Amazon, buy the book, or connect with Dr. Michael. I'm sure at the link below he will share also. We'll share the link for the book that you can also see. And also please do share also your other books too, that people can actually learn from. People struggle with networking too, and I know you have a book on that too. And so, it can help. And again, this year here, 2024, it's about how many books are you going to read too? Do you set that kind of goals? So maybe get Dr. Michael's book also on your list of what you're going to be learning this.
Wow. We don't have time. I would have shared something that help people to read, because reading is an epidemic. Not reading is an epidemic that is really common, but there's something I've found, and maybe next time I'll share with you. It's an acronym called SOA that has helped so many people. Right now, I'm reading 4 books at the moment together.
Yeah.
And I wasn't like that before, so I have to create a habit. So that's why it's how to create a habit that lasts. So it's a real powerful concept that I've used. It's very practical. One of my great, soft skills leadership training that I've used. Yeah.
Dr. Michael, thank you so much. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
being on the program. And I know we've gone beyond time here, but I can tell our listeners and the viewers out there that listen to the entire program, and you will get some nuggets here. And
Yeah.
as Dr. Michael and myself, our heart is about adding value to people, and this interaction here is also to help some aspect of what you can take back and apply to your life, and share it also with people who can benefit from learning what are little stuff that you can do in your life to keep improving your leadership skills. The program is all about developing the leaders in us, and how do we become more effective and a stronger leader in wherever you're serving. So, Dr. Michael, thank you so much for
You're welcome. Yeah,
us.
it's my pleasure.
See you next time, definitely on our program.
You're welcome.
We look forward to having you. And so,
Yeah, thank you.
to our viewers, do share this podcast and share with those who can actually benefit, and also ask any question. Please post your questions, comments in the link below, and let us hear your thoughts too. And as you said, we adding value to one another. Do also share something that can benefit those who might be listening or reading your comments. So take care until our next program.
Yeah, thank you.